What is up, gamers, players, casuals, and all of y'all? All right, this week we welcome you to episode 9 of the weekly patch notes. Yeah, what it is, I'm your host, Thamziri. Catch me on my my YouTube, my Instagram. You can catch me on Twitter as well at Thamzola, all that type of shit. But I'm a YouTuber, content creator, fool, and you can catch me on my YouTube channel and Instagram and all that. And with me are my co-hosts, starting with Max, a millennial gamer with takes that you have to hear to believe, ranging from the sane to the outrageous. Max, what's good, homie?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you very much.
And then we got my homie Kid Kojo. You can find him on Twitter as Barnacle9 and check out his blog about his personal life and gaming called Before the Clock Strikes 12. What's good, Jazzy?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm hungry. But as always, guys, our social media handles and links are in the description, so don't you worry about missing out on anything. Alongside those are going to be links to any of the articles and information that we do share here with relevancy, of course. And with all that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow X to skip. Any and all supports is welcomed. Now, let's get into some gaming tidbits, starting with young Max. What's good there, bro? Hit us up with the gaming news.
Well, before we get into the gaming news, I just wanted to put some admin and announcements,
Hit us up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that we've officially hit 100 views for our YouTube channel. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's been watching and supporting us. It's very much appreciated. And I think maybe in celebration for hitting 100, since it's a milestone for us, we might do something special in the coming weeks, but that'll be discussed internally. And if we come up with something, we'll let it to the wider public. But that's all I just wanted to say for admin and announcements.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Oh my God, we love y'all. We do this for y'all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we do it for us too, but yeah, thank you. Admin side, don't have much. Actually, admin side, okay, if anyone is gonna cop the Tenkaichi, Budokai Tenkaichi 4 that's been rumored, beat your ass. Kojo, anything from your side, bro?
No, nothing from me.
All right, Max, hit us with that gaming news.
All right, so let's get started. So remember how we had Pokemon Day just last week, right?
Yes.
Well, now on March 10th, it's considered Mario Day. So by the time everybody is hearing this podcast or watching the video, happy belated Mario Day. And with that, Mario is 41 years old and he's featured in over 200 games. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Famous plumber, dog. Famous plumber. Shout out to Mario. And wow, Luigi.
Wow, Luigi.
All right. So moving on, we finally, and I repeat, finally have a release date for Starfield. It's scheduled for September 6th of this year. And that date is annoyingly far away, but slightly closer to it will be its associated showcase / direct on June 11th. So with all that said, to be honest, I've been anticipating this game for the longest time, but not because I want to play it. I'm not a sci-fi guy, and Kojo can tell you all about that, but rather I've been anticipating it because I'd like to think we'll learn a lot about Bethesda and its future under Microsoft from this release. I personally want Bethesda to do well because I like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. And on the original release of Starfield, I was anticipating high reviews. However, now we've received this release date, I've become apprehensive. The reason why is that last year they say they're delaying the game because they want to work on bugs and release the game in its best possible state. But I ain't never ever heard of a game requiring almost an entire year to fix bugs. Usually it's a few weeks at best and a few months at worst. Hence, this is giving me Halo Infinite vibes. That game was pushed back a year, and when it released, it still wasn't that great. So it makes me think, in what kind of shit state was Starfield in last year, November? Making all of that worse is that this is a console exclusive, and you need a year to bug fix. When the game releases, it has to bang. And it has no excuses, no room for errors. And I think Bethesda also knows this. And it's probably why they were like, nah, let's push that as far back as we can. So I'll be watching carefully, and they're not going to have any excuses. It's specifically for Xbox/PC. They didn't need to think about any other platform. They've had almost a year to fix whatever they needed to fix, which is unheard of. So let's see what comes out of this. But I do hope it does well. Then next, I want to talk about the Epic Game Store. In a bid to continue to compete against Steam, the Epic Game Store will be allowing developers to self-publish their games, with the only condition being that online multiplayer games should support PC crossplay. So I think that will be interesting, and it might make the Epic Game Store a little more enticing for developers as a bid to reach more audiences. Because Kojo, you're more in line with Epic Game Store, and you can confirm or deny about the platform's growth, that it has been experiencing a steady growth, but that is down to Epic Games being very aggressive with their growth. Am I wrong, or am I correct in that analysis?
No, I think you're correct.
All right. And lastly, as E3 approaches, we're beginning to receive more details of the event, like how it'll differ from past events, what media and developers must do to be a part of a show, and what E3 itself will be doing to make the event more integral to gaming, in their own words. However, the biggest thing everyone is waiting to see/hear is which gaming companies will be a part of it. That is still being slowly released, and that's one of my main things of, I'm personally in the camp of E3 is dead, and I don't really think much can be done to revive it. So I'm watching this keenly just to see if they can do anything to change people's viewpoints and be like, no, you know what? E3 is still relevant. But that is it for the gaming news segment.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Jazzy, what's going on in the gaming corner, bruv?
Well, before that, I have a bit of gaming news. So unfortunately, this is sad news. Video game studio Lince Works have decided that they're shutting down. They're behind the Origami and Origami 2 cult classics, or cult hits, let me not say classics. Cult hit games. They came out with a statement saying, "We have been lucky enough to work on what we love for the past 9 years, pouring our hearts and souls into creating immersive and entertaining games for you to enjoy. And we are so proud of what we have accomplished, but unfortunately we have come to the end of our journey." They mentioned that the last couple of years have been difficult for them due to economic issues, and they were working on a number of IPs, but they ran out of time. And they continue by saying, "We will always be grateful to our community and players around the world. Your loyalty and passion for our games have been our driving force, and we cannot thank you enough for the invaluable support you have shown us throughout the years. It breaks our hearts to know that all the work we have done for the past year will ultimately not come to completion." And they went on to thank the developers and the studios and things like that. So yeah, hopefully the members of the team can bounce back on their feet. And yeah, that's my gaming news side.
Idea, bro.
Yeah, it's sad stuff. Okay. Now, moving on to Gaming Corner. Let's start off with the gaming releases of the week. And we start off with Dead Cells, the Return to Castlevania expansion DLC, which came out on March 6th, 2023, and is currently sitting at an 88 on Metacritic. Yeah. So I'm happy for that. Next, we have a game called Outlanders on PC, which came out on March 7, 2023. Next, we have a game called Clash Artifacts of Chaos, which is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, released on March 9th, 2023. Next, we have Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, released on March 9th, 2023 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We have a game called Ib, which is now making its appearance on the Switch, released on March 9, 2023. A game called No by Heart, which was released on the Switch on March 9, 2023. We have Monster Energy Supercross 6, which was released on 9th of March 2023 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. We have a game called Oni, Road to the Mightiest Oni, for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, released on March 9th, 2023. We have Session, the skate sim, which is now making its appearance on the Switch, which was released on the 9th of March 2023. We have a game called Before Your Eyes, making its appearance on the PlayStation VR 2, released on March 10th, 2023. And finally, we have DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, released on the 10th of March 2023. And those are the releases for the week. Now, moving on to the things to look out for, is the first one is what I mentioned earlier, is the Castlevania expansion, Return to Castlevania expansion for Dead Cells. This comes with 2 new biomes, 3 bosses, 20 outfits, a new storyline, 51 Castlevania soundtracks and 12 reimagined soundtracks, 14 weapons and new enemies. And you get to, meet iconic characters like obviously Dracula, Alucard, Richter, Death from the Castlevania series. You get to fight iconic bosses and a lot of secrets to unlock and uncover. And if nobody has
Sorry, I'm not really well versed in Dead Cells, but that doesn't really sound like a lot of gameplay time. 3 bosses only.
No, it is. It is. It's their biggest expansion. Like, you get to explore Dracula's castle.
Okay.
And it is the most expensive DLC for Castlevania so far. And I think majority of it is the content size, but also I think the name behind it also plays a role. It being a Castlevania crossover and all. So yeah, if you've never jumped into Dead Cells, I think this is a good reason to. Next up, we have a game called The Finals, which is developed by Embark, which is a group of former DICE developers. DICE, known as the creators for the Battlefield series and the new Star Wars Battlefront games, and Mirror's Edge to an extent. So The Finals is a first-person shooter game that is set in a TV show, game show type of thing. And basically there are different game modes, but then it all revolves around, the objectives, and then obviously it's a first person shooter, so you have to kill your enemies to achieve your objectives and all of that stuff. And it is currently in closed beta. If you can snag a key, all the big content creators have been playing it so far. Some have been enjoying it, some have had mixed reception towards it. The beta started on the 7th of March and will end on the 21st of March 2023. So if you can get a key, why not jump in? And one of the main draws of this game is the destruction, and how you can how can you destroy the buildings and the walls and the roofs and all of that stuff, which is something that is akin to what's the name of that game? Battlefield Bad Company 2 back in 2010. It's something that Battlefield hasn't really seen. They've had Levolution and a bit of stuff, but full destruction and destructibility like this hasn't been seen in a while in terms of Battlefield. So people are hoping this would fill their Battlefield void, and like, maybe this is a return. Battlefield has been disappointing, so people like maybe this game from former Battlefield developers will be better than Battlefield and whatever. So yeah, keep an eye out on that one. And yeah, that's it from the gaming corner.
I would like to add that people are saying with the latest updates of Battlefield 2042, it's actually improved dramatically, where some people are glad that EA has been pushing through with it as opposed to just dropping it. So there is that for the Battlefield enthusiasts out there.
Yeah.
And then also I also want to point out that for some gaming corner news, Tommy, this might interest you. The company Paradox Interactive has officially announced their first major project, which is a life simulator called Life by You. It's basically going to be a game which will rival The Sims. And there's a video of it, or a brief trailer video, where you can see some teasers of the game and some aspects of it, and a lot of people are comparing it to The Sims 4 and saying this might actually even be better than The Sims 4. As of now, I'm not quite sure where it's going to be coming out, but that's something to keep your eye out for if you're into life simulator type of games like The Sims. Then I also want to let people know, if they don't know already, that a Resident Evil 4 remake demo is available for people to play, and it's not one of those timed demos or things like that. You can play it as much as you want and replay it as much as you want as you're waiting for RE4 remake to come out. And then lastly, for PC Steam gamers, developers Ghost Shark Games has made Blockstorm free to purchase in a bid to keep the game alive, as the player count has dwindled over the years. Blockstorm is a 2015 FPS game that sits on positive reviews from over 6,500 reviews. So if that interests you, I would suggest to give it a go, as you have nothing to pay for it. You have nothing to lose but your time. Yeah, and that's pretty much it that I wanted to add.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this Life by You. This shit sounds interesting. Oh my god. Okay. But anyways, guys, just a quick reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow so we can get this to more ears. Once again, I'm Thamziri, and with me are Max as well as Kid Kojo. Let's keep this shit going. Okay. Now moving on to the next section, which is the Twitch and YouTuber news. Now, don't have much to give. I don't have an update on the Pokemon thing. I know we said we're gonna wait a bit, to hear how it's gonna go and everything. But the other news that I have heard, which I'm not gonna back up too much or whatever, y'all can go check it out. Right? Is did y'all see that whole thing about this, Mr. Beast and the 20,000 kids with the shoes?
Yep.
Okay, so
yes, I did, and I have some choice words about that. But tell me, please go on.
No, for me, I don't have beef, guys. Because as you know, in our one group, the Meat Canyon videos that are made about surrounding Mr. Beast. Obviously everyone has some negative words, some have positive words, all that type of shit. But look, for me personally, what he's doing, yeah, it's sweet and all, but literally anybody that just makes a video off of doing like good deeds, but I'm already kind of sus, because it's like, but why? His business model, I can understand it 100%. At part of me is just like, okay, this is fine if he's not like reaping any profit from this or whatever. But then these other people started showing videos of him from like years ago, where he said, and I quote, homeless people don't care how much you give them if it's just for the views or some shit like that, right? But like, you see what I'm saying? It's just like, if he said that before, Joe, like, how do we know he's not saying it now? But what? He did a good deed, so I'm not gonna trip. He did it in my home country. I'm not gonna trip. Thank you for the shoes, my guy. And like, they were like Vans, my nigga. Like, oh. But anyways, I'm not gonna hate. Yeah, Max, what do you want to add to that, bro?
So I just want to say that, as well, I don't think you should be hating on somebody doing a good deed. But let's not pretend he's evangelical or he's just doing it simply because, oh, my heart's in the right place, this is what I've always wanted to do with my life. Like, no, it's still content for him. So even though there might not be a monetary gain, there's still other benefits to it, which are not necessarily financial. But I'm not going to try and dissect what could be those gains. I don't know Mr. Beast. I don't know what goes through his head, and I could be wrong with my analysis. He could be really, from what you said, of when he was in the past, he could have changed from that. So I'm going to be given benefit of the doubt. Because I saw Moist Critical make a comment on Twitter talking about how it's silly people are criticizing him. He's done something good, but people are only trying to find the negatives and all of that. And I'm like, no, there's a reason why people are trying to find a negative. And I feel like there's 3 forms of charity, right? There's charity where you do a good deed and then you just move on with your life. You never go back to the original thing to find out what's happened. Like, let's say giving shoes and Vans. Okay, you've given them shoes. What's going to happen when the shoes break or tear apart or whatever? They're going to go back to where they started. So whatever you've done is temporary. Then there's the next form of charity where when you do something, you need to keep it going unless something can come in to intervene and change the status quo. So if you're giving them shoes, are you going to be regularly giving them shoes? If you are, that's why I'm like, no, nobody should be criticizing him because this is a continuous thing. This is an investment. But when you're doing a one-off, it's like, okay, 5 years, 10 days, 5 months or whatever, your impact is gone. So the first type of charity is where you do something, it's isolated. You do one thing, it's finished. The second is ongoing to make sure that the impact is continuous, which I think is a better form of charity. And then the third one is where you do one integral thing, which just changes the status quo, which I think is the best type, where it's like, let's say, for example, somebody is in debt with student debt or whatever. You pay off their debt with no attachment or stuff like that. They're not anymore in debt. They can move on with their life. That's behind them now. And I think that's the best type of charity. And somebody's going to criticize as they're listening to this saying, yeah, but any type of charity is good charity. But it's kind of like the thing of when you see a beggar on the road, right? And then you give them food. You've just fed them for a day. You have not changed anything for them. For one insignificant moment, you've done something. And that's why, for me, I'm like, when I think of charity, I'm not interested in that type of charity where you do one thing and then it's a blip in the entire thing. I'm more interested in ongoing charity or charity that makes a dramatic change where the status quo has differed. So when people are criticizing Mr. Beast, those who are saying he's just doing it for financial gain or stuff like that, and he has to defend himself and be like, no, he pulls back everything completely. I think that's silly to argue for that. But those people are like, no, there's more to this. It's not as in there are other benefits to this. It's not as simple as just making money out of it. I think they're onto something. And that's why I'm like, I'm not going to be standing here applauding them and stuff like that. Where, like, for example, there's a guy called The Blind Surfer on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's a blind guy who makes content about his life. He's also a voice actor and he enjoys surfing, so he shows a bit to his life and stuff like that, how he lives being blind and all of that stuff. His content is pretty interesting. You should check it out if you haven't already. But he was talking about that video of Mr. Beast cures blindness, where it's like Mr. Beast did something great, but the title is so misleading, where it's like you can't cure blindness right now, currently. What Mr. Beast was doing, he was helping people who have maybe degenerative issues and different things like that. Those people were not necessarily blind. Once you're blind, it's done. It's not reversible. So he's like, he had a problem with that, where he's curing blindness. He's not curing blindness. He's helping people who've got eye issues, but he's not curing blindness. And that's why I'm like, for Mr. Beast, it's not about the money. It's more about the content. And I don't know what's going on in his head of what he wants to do with the content. Like, when you're getting notoriety and you can leverage that notoriety in other ways. It's kind of like, when you're on Instagram. If you have 20 million followers, you might not be making money from Instagram, but the mere fact that you have 20 million followers, there are companies, sponsors, and all these different type of people who are going to be looking at you saying, he has a platform. You want to reach that platform, and then you negotiate other things. So him generating views and stuff like that and giving all that money back into the next video or whatever. Cool, but we don't know what you're doing on the side. We don't know what the end goal of these things are. You probably know, the rest of us don't know, and that's why I'm like, I'm not going to criticize him too much, but at the same time, I'm not going to hail him as this amazing saint who's there doing great things. Like, nah, he still benefits to some extent. Since I don't know to what extent, I'm just watching from afar, but I'm also being trying to be critical and not trying to be pulled in by the negatives nor by the positives. So that's what I want to say. I just want to reinforce that three types of charity. The first one where you do something good, but it doesn't change the status quo. The second where you have to do something continuous for the status quo to be evolving or changing. And the third one where you do something where the status quo is completely changed. The past state becomes the past. There's a new future. I think the other two are the best type of charity you can do. The first one is irrelevant. It's pointless. Some people might be like, no, but you can help somebody in a moment. But it's like, oh, so you're basically just doing that to feel good about yourself. Because you're not going to see that person again. That person's struggle is still going to continue. What are you doing for that? Charity is supposed to be changing somebody's life. You're not necessarily changing somebody's life. You're changing a moment, but you're not changing their life.
Words out of my mouth, man. But yeah, that's yeah, exactly. Kojo?
No, nothing to add on that.
Okay. And then your side of the news?
No, I don't have any Twitch YouTuber news this time.
Oh wait. Alright, moving on to the esports. So yeah, the funny part about the esports right now, I don't have anything like juicy, whatever, but essentially so for those of you who don't follow Red Bull Gaming's today, fighting tournaments are coming, right? They're going to be coming hard, which is going to be that was just a play on words, but it's going to be dope. It's going to be lit with the new Street Fighter that's now come out. A lot of new pros or even long-standing pros are out here gearing up for the tournament. Don't have the exact dates yet, but yeah, one of my favorite streamers was watching it, so I was like, okay, sweet. I'm gonna sit and watch and just make sure I learn a thing or two, because for those who don't know, I love fighting games, man. I would be in an esports for fighting games, but I'll get my ass handed to me, bro, because there's a difference. With fighting games, dog, it's just one-on-one. I can't ever count to my team to like distract or some shit. But yeah, one of these days you guys are gonna see me, bro. When Budokai Tenkaichi 4 comes full in effect, hey, catch your boy out there on the streets, dog. Yeah, that's the only esports stuff I have for me. Fighting tournaments are coming. So yeah, Kojizi, any from you?
Yeah, a few things. So we just finished up. Well, last month we just ended the Apex Legends Global Series Split 1 playoffs, and we're heading into the Split 2 playoffs, which will begin on March 11th, 2023. So it's something to look forward to. And it will be going on for 8 weeks, and 150 teams are going to take part, and it's going to go down to only 40 teams who would advance to London this summer for LAN. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Sticking with Apex Legends, seems like Sentinels are back into the ALGS. It is rumored that they are back into Apex Legends after leaving and not performing really well. Now they're back, rumored, and it's rumored that they are picking up the roster from the Guard. If listeners remember, a few episodes ago we spoke about the Guard and how they let off a lot of their employees. So it looks like Sentinels are kind of sort of maybe back. And last thing, sticking with ALGS, is FaZe Clan have revealed their new roster for the team for the Apex Legends Split 2 playoffs. They are keeping Snipedown, who is the esports veteran. They're keeping him, but joining him is going to be Phony and Frexes. And they failed to qualify for the split round playoffs, the old FaZe clan. So we'll see what this FaZe clan team can do. And last bit of esports news I have is a tournament or a Saudi Arabian esports organization called Gamers 8 Esports. And they are hosting an event, and it sets an esports event, and it set the highest prize pool for an event at $45 million. And currently, it's going to take place this year. Last year, the prize pool was $15 million. So now, yeah, that's a huge increase. There's
Do you know what the games they're playing?
Yeah, I was just getting there. There are they haven't announced what games they are going in yet. But last year, the games were Fortnite, Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege, Dota 2, and PUBG Mobile. So we can assume that some of these are going to stay, and maybe they'll add a few new ones like Valorant or something. We don't know yet. They're still keeping their lips sealed, but they said that they will announce the first game on the March 13th, and that the festival will take place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and will start on July the 6th, 2023. So that's
Do you know
one.
how you can participate?
That I'm not sure. That I'm not too sure. I don't think it's anybody can participate, but I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But yeah, I'm not too sure because they're still tight-lipped around what games they are even hosting. So we don't know how to even take part if we don't know what games they are. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, that's it for my esports news.
Oh wait, Max, anything? Nah, you good?
Nah, very good.
Just check it. All right, moving on to the discussions. Okay, so I checked out the Life by You. So my discussion is going to be how and why this may not beat The Sims. Okay. Life by You looks fun, looks cool. You know, I see that it's still in development, so the little trailer thing they had there was kind of choppy. You know, the frames were just a bit off here and there, but it looks dope. Don't get me wrong, it looks sick. If it allows you to actually drive cars, dude, fuck. Then they've brought back something they took in Sims 3, you know, which I wish they had put in Sims 4. Like, just the driving part was just so cool. But anyways,
why would you want to drive a car in Sims?
nigga, like, it's the same way. If you're gonna give me a life simulator game and there are cars in the game, much like real life, I want to learn how to drive them cars. In Sims 3, you had to start as a teenager. As a teenager, you can already start to drive, like take lessons, get a permit, my nigga, realistic shit, and then eventually be able to drive by yourself. And then I'd grant my kid like a car, but like, look, you got on the dean's list, so here's a car, dude. I'm rich as fuck. You know, here you go.
Isn't there a certain point though where you start beginning to feel overwhelmed with the amount of options and choices you have? Like, one of the things I liked about Sims when I used to play was, all right, there's certain things I need to focus on, and the other things which are like taken care of, I don't even need to think about. Like, for example, I don't know, I haven't played Sims 4, I haven't played Sims since Sims 2, so I'm out of the loop. But one of the things I liked was how when your individual had to go to work or had to go to school, you just had to stick at home with whoever's there. And if no one was at home, time would fly until they return. Like, I didn't need to think about what they're doing at work or what they're doing at school, unless you got one of those prompts of blah, blah, blah happened while you were at work. What's your decision? And then that either is a good decision or a bad decision.
So that still happens if you do not have the Sims Get to Work expansion. The Get to Work expansion offers new jobs that you can actually go to the workplace, and then once you're there, you fulfill duties. Like, no, but that's what I'm saying.
That just sounds overwhelming to me.
But Max, it's a life simulator. That is what happens in real life, my nigga. Like,
yes, but then here's my issue with life simulators, right? I look at life simulators as a getaway from life. Like, let me have on Sims the job that I don't have in real life. Let me make the money that I can't make in real life. Let me have the family or the house or the whatever that I can't have in real life. Now, when you're bringing so many life elements to it, it's like, why am I playing life on a computer? Let me just go live life. Because
exactly. That's what
the
EA wants you to do.
The overwhelming things I was trying to run away from by playing this game are now being introduced into this game. So it's like I'm being overwhelmed again.
Yeah, because even in Sims 4 in your mail, the tax comes, bro. You have to pay your bills.
So that's why I'm like, maybe they should introduce like certain options where you can switch things off, because I just think it's becoming overwhelming. It's not anymore something I can switch my brain off and just relax.
You'll just have to go play GTA. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's the only way. I don't know. Because, I mean, yeah, Life Simulator's probably like the fact you can even get mods now where you can, you know, have sex in any position you want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's mods where...
I think you were the one who put up a clip, a TikTok clip. It probably was you, where there was this lady playing Sims and then she got kidnapped.
Yes, you see,
well, I'm just like,
real life shit.
The hell?
You could be walking in real life on the street and someone just comes in a van, jacks you. It's real. It's like, oh shit, Sims is teaching me not to go outside at random hours alone. It's teaching me shit. There's even now fucking Sim Seasons. When Sim Seasons came out, right? The first time that Sims actually experienced different seasons, people developed a mod whereby in said seasons you can get sick. Sims can now get sick, bro. That's realistic. Sims can now get periods. That's realistic, nigga. Like, it's the true definition of real life. Now, if Life by You better be Sims with all the mods. It better be, because the bullshit about running Sims, it better, because the bullshit about running mods on Sims is every time there's an update, your mods don't work, and if you try open the game, it crashes it. Okay, sometimes it even just deletes your character completely because your character has a lot of shit that the original developers did not put in. So that shit just, you know, but that's what I'm saying. If Life by You can stop me from playing a game with so many mods, I'll play it. 100%. Life Simulate, dude, come on, bro. Like, it's the same niggas who say, oh, I just want to go on Sims and fuck hot girls because, you know, my wife ain't that hot. And nigga, come on. Simulate it, bro. Make your wife in Sims. Come on. Don't be weird. That's odd. You're moving weirdly, man. You're doing strange things.
Hey, remember the new YouTube term. What's your language?
My bad. What? My bad. But like, that's what I mean. It's just like, come on, dude. Like, it's in the same breath of like, you know how guys will find their girls like creepy and freaky or whatever when she's literally created them as well as have kids and everything. And now, dude, I'm just like, oh, that's the life you envision? Alright, cool. Shit. I'm cool with that.
My girl actually did that.
You see what I'm saying? You see, it's life. Now, I'd be concerned if your girl created a sim that has like a 9-inch schlong, and that ain't you, and he's like tall as, you know, he's tall, he's ripped, he's light-skinned like Boris Kojo, you know, out here with the shit. Nah, then I'd be concerned.
I don't think she does mods. I think she plays the vanilla.
Oh, whack, dude. Get a Wicked Sims. I'll send you the links. Any of y'all who've played the Wicked Sims, oh, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. God, yo, dude. On God, I'm amazed that like Sims Prawn isn't really a thing. Because I'll be creating that shit. I'll be the greatest director of all time. But anyways, that's my discussion piece. What y'all got?
Nothing from my side.
Koji's up?
Yeah, nothing from me either.
Alrighty. Well, ladies and germs, that brings us to the News Blitz by Maxwell. Hit us up, broski.
Alright, to round things off, so starting off in a weird but not weird kind of news, Sony fears Microsoft will make Call of Duty worse on the PlayStation if they acquire Activision Blizzard. In one way, I can understand where Sony is coming from with their fears, but realistically speaking, the chances of that happening are low. They might not be zero, but they're low. But there's that. Then we've got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been delayed. It was first a rumor, but then Jason Schreier also came out and said that from his sources, it's been delayed. So, when Jason Schreier is saying something, you can pretty much consider it as confirmed. And personally, for me, it doesn't come as a surprise, as it's probably delayed for them to try and make the monetization less egregious after the backlash from the PlayStation showcase. And just for those fans out there, there's a short gameplay clip of RoboCop, the upcoming game. It is slated for release in September this year, but that's all we've had. The clip shows a very little bit of gameplay, but doesn't reveal too much. Personally, when I saw the gameplay clip, I just thought of a poor man's Fallout. But who knows? It might be better than that. We'll wait and see. Also, we have after the One Punch Man collaboration in Fortnite, the next collaboration is going to be Attack on Titan. Considering the final season, final, blah blah blah, whatever they call it, is taking place now. It makes sense for Attack on Titan to finally come, considering it's been on other things like Call of Duty, if I remember correctly. Then lastly, Discord integration has come to PlayStation 5. But if you have a PS5, you'll probably already know about this. And that's the news blitz.
Okay. Oh, wait. Thanks, bro. All right, ladies and germs. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us and listening in. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and or follow for more, whichever is applicable to your preferred platform. We make sure that we are everywhere. Otherwise, if you have any comment suggestions or you just want to say hi, you can do so in the comments section. That is it for this week. Once again, thanks to the gents, Max, Kojo. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you guys next week. So be good, stay healthy, and join us again for more gaming tidbits. This has been the Weekly Patch Notes. Peace.